No heroics into Sandoval, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
We know what that means. That means it is Monaco, everybody. Hello and welcome to GRS F1 for Season 11, round number 4. And we are here in Monaco at night. It's going to be midnight. And we're going to see, well, if it's anything based on the other races, quite a lot of action, to be honest, which is quite surprising for Monaco because it's very difficult to overtake. But qualifying should be pretty spectacular. And the race itself, with a mandatory 2-stop, of course, could also be a bit of a showdown. So here we are, waiting in the pit lane. What a great view of the pit lane this is. Before we see who is first out onto the track today, we are going to have a look at the standings. And I've just realised I can't see the standings because I've got a window covering it. But Paco is top at the moment, 3 points clear of Luke Mills, who won the last race in Canada. He won ahead of Timo's, jumped up to 5th. Also got Villiers and Mitchell up in 3rd and 4th, doing quite well. But it's all very early days, very early to play for. And also, look at that man in number 25th. P25 right now, Yerne Dujvan, making his debut, I believe, this season. But obviously he is very fast because he won last season's championship. So he's given himself a 56-point deficit to claw back. We'll see how long he can do that. As for the constructors, Mercedes are top by about 25 points. From Ferrari and Haas very close, Williams and Alpine very close, McLaren and Racing Bulls very close, then Aston Martin not last, Red Bull and on 0 points. What a turn up for the books that is. Kit Sauber. Now we have some very exciting news about the current session. Is that there's apparently rain in the race. Halfway through the race as well, which could be very, very, very interesting. But we won't worry about that for now because we need to worry about qualifying. And in qualifying, we're going to have a look at the first man to cross the line, which will be your championship leader, not championship leader, championship second place man. Last week's race winner, Luke Mills in the Ferrari, is the first to do a lap, and we will watch a whole lap on board with him. Hopefully the sound of the game and my voice is all very good today because I feel like last week he was a bit quiet. But here we go then. I wonder what we're going to get for a pole position time in this session. Yesterday F2 pole was a 9.2, I think, maybe, from Biodi Bello, I think, Bayo. And yeah, but there's obviously a range of times and people may need to warm up a little bit. You don't want to pin it in the wall on the first attempt. So we'll see how that goes. So far for Luke, this is looking pretty decent as we head into Portier number 2. Or just Portier. I've heard that actually the corner before that is not Portier, is like Mirabeau 2 or, I don't know, Lower Hotel or something. I don't know. Anyway, on to Tabac now, the fastest part of the track. Chucks it in 5th gear, using plenty of battery here through here as well. A couple of downshifts. You can really jump over that left curb on this year's game. Previous games that was a bit dodgy, you'd get a warning, but now you can absolutely fly over it through the swimming pool chicane. So up to the line then. What's the opening lap of the session going to be? It's going to be a 9.6, which is a pretty decent banker time. Yerne is not next across the line. It's actually Domino, the people starting laps. Who's nearly finished a lap? Lex has nearly finished a lap, and he's hit the wall! And he's got away with it. But, oh yeah, that could have been a bad start to the day for Lex Hod in the Kick Sauber today. We have many drivers bumping up the field. Next across the line is Oscar McCracken, currently 6th in the championship, and he goes P5 on the grid right now with a 9.9 opening lap. I believe Timo's starting a lap somewhere. Paco also starting a lap. What about Callum Morris? He has invalidated his time. Let's go have a look at one of the McLarens. He's actually held up behind an Aston Martin here on his lap. Don't know who that was. Might have been... no, it wasn't Mitch. It was actually Nathan Powers. Maybe going to be getting a penalty for that one. But to the line now for Yerne goes P2. Mitro's out at Tabac. Who's going near Tabac? Oh, we just missed it. We've just missed it. Who's in a Ferrari? Callum Lyons. And the car's gone. Ah, well. Somebody's down an escape road as well. Arnyan is down an escape road as Alyosha goes P1 with a 9.3. The times are, you know, coming in thick and fast here early on in this session. It's a little hard to keep track on what is going on. I think most drivers will be into the pits. I know someone who is on the lap is Timo Games. Timo van Haften. Second place in the last event, and it looks like he's doing some more race prep early on in this session. Paco, though, is not doing race prep. He's coming around Anthony Nogues at the moment to head towards the line. Is this going to challenge the leaders? It absolutely is. It's a 9.1. We are faster than F2 was yesterday, as Callum Morris bumps up into P10 as well while he's at it. Mitch is, looks like he's pulling back into the pits along with his teammates. Someone going to the line now is Timo, who does a 10.7 opening banker lap. And I think that is it, apart from Villiers and Leon over here. Leon Lowe's. So we will have a look at Villiers' entire lap, since he's on an outlap at the moment. I believe everybody else is pulling into the pit lane to do a second run. Into Saint Devant then, down to third gear. Using a lot of the track. No sliding through there. I found that corner really difficult in qualifying yesterday. Into Massenet. Down to fourth gear. Missing the wall on the left. Missing the wall on the right at Casino Square. And down into Mirabeau. Purple sector 1 it says, an 18.6. That shouldn't be purple. You can definitely do an 18.3 at least around there. So probably about 3/10 down from the best so far. Through Portier now. Getting a good exit is crucial here. And a little bit of wheel spin as he maybe put the battery on a little bit too early there. Flat out through the tunnel and into the Nouvelle chicane. Don't want to brake too late actually, because you want to really get a good exit and a good run, missing all the barriers, hitting sort of 4 apexes through that sequence of corners. Into the back, really well committed through there, just missing the wall. Down to 8% battery for the swimming pool chicane. Bounces over that fairly nicely. Little kiss of the wall on the right hand side and into Raskas. Nice and smooth through here. Anthony Noakes to get a good exit up to the line is also important. What's it going to be for Villiers with his opening lap of the day? It is P11 with a 10.3 as Alex King. Leon goes up to P5 with a 9.5. There we go. Timo still pounding round, trying to improve and get a bit of practice in. Let's have a look at some of the off-board shots around Monaco while he does this. Through to back. And I can take a sip of water. Little clonk of the barriers, but that is okay. As long as you hit the barriers sort of parallel to the side of your wheels, you're okay. You don't want any angle going into a barrier. That is a problem. Timo just pounding round, so we'll have a look at someone who isn't pounding round, and that is Oscar. He's on a lap and he's 2.5 tenths up through the first sector into the hairpin. Slightly wider there, but that is okay. Down, clonking into the barrier a little bit as well there. Past the corner where we saw Bearline on his side in real life back in 2017. It's a memorable Monaco moment for me. There's a yellow flag up ahead. I think that's just a Aston Martin out of the way. It is. Maybe he's made a mistake there. The other Aston Martin also getting out of the way of Oscar here. Ooh, big slide and potentially into the wall. He is into the wall, but only on the rear. He's avoided any damage there, but he's completely ruined his lap on that occasion. That is unfortunate for him. Who else is on a lap? Domin is on a lap and he's 0.5 tenth up through the first sector. What is it going to be come the middle sector split at the end of Tabac? It's slightly down, so this could be a marginal improvement into the 9s if he has a blistering final sector. There's a yellow flag, as I believe Callum Morris is getting out of the way of an Aston Martin in the first sector. And up to the line we go. He's in improvement up to a 9.7, up to P8. for Domen, as I heard someone clonk the barriers. It was a Mercedes of Paco, I think. It looks like he's got away with it on an outlap. Have to see about that one. Anyway, what about Yerne here? He's 3.5 tenths up, coming up to the line. We'll switch on board with his teammate very soon, but he does an 8.7. That's absolutely massive at the moment. Now looking at Alyosha. He is not on a lap. Must have made a mistake early on, maybe in Saint-Devote. As we have another yellow flag, people getting out of the way. Let's try and flick to someone who's completing a lap. Nathan Powers is... No, Mitch is coming around the final corner. And he is 3 tenths up on his previous lap, but that won't get him anywhere near anybody else. Down the escape road is turn 1 is Aryan, again finding an escape road. That's 2 escape roads he's found now today. As I think Luke's gone P3 without me noticing. Might have missed that. Although saying that he's on a lap, he is down at the moment. Anybody else to look at? What about Sam Pritchard? He raced in F2 yesterday, so P5 is a very good showing for him at the moment. Very fast driver as well, was in F1 last season. He was in F3 the season before, so massive improvement from it. Well, he was in F4 actually at the start of last season and won like 4 races in a row, and they thought, nah, you go straight to F1, mate. Don't think he could do any of the other days. But here he is on a Wednesday in F1, proving why he should be here. A few tenths up, coming down into the tunnel. A few tenths up. And there's a Mercedes in his way a little bit here, that's unfortunate. Into the swimming pool chicane. Nicely done over there. Small lock-up through Raskas, getting the car rotated very nicely. And then powering out of the final corner. What's it going to be for Sam? It's another 9.3, slightly improved on his previous best, and goes up to P4 ahead of Alyosha. Leon is on an outlap, as Alex King is down in Escape Road. He's done a Rosberg at Mirabeau. His teammate is coming through on an invalid lap, so we will watch the full lap of Leon, who did a very good lap on his opening run. Can he improve on this one? Throwing it into Massenet, almost kissing that left barrier. Upshifting well, using hot lap as well. I found using medium around this track was quite helpful to get better traction. Or I should say less wheel spin. It requires less skill using medium, I think. Oh, there's a slide. That's not going to be a good improvement for him. This guy's all over the road and that should be backing out, I would have thought. Paco's asked a fantastic question in the Discord chat, is does the game make you do a 2-stop if it rains? I have no idea, to be honest. I would think yes. Because the rule is you have to make 2 mandatory pit stops, not you have to use 2 dry compounder tyres. I don't know if the rule gets invalidated in wet conditions. Anyway, Alyosha is pitting? Yes, thought so. Thought so. Anyone else on a lap? Oscar is 3 tenths up through the first sector. Going again here, I think on the same set of tyres, and that's why it's the same set of tyres. You can tell a lot of slidey, spinny wheel action. What am I talking about? Through the hairpin. Oh, that actually sounded quite good. Well done, audio engineers. Sliding again through the Nouvelle chicane, but did so with some speed. Into Tabac, throwing it in 5th gear. Didn't choose to upshift to 6th. That's interesting. It says purple sector 2 is 6 tenths up. Maybe sliding is faster. A little kiss of the barrier on the outside. This could be challenging the top 5 at the moment here. A little shaky going into Antino's. That's going to cost him on the exit, but he runs up to the line, taking the shortest route possible. Where's it going to put him? Oscar McCracken to P4, a 9.0, still 3 tenths off the speed machine himself, Yerne Dougevan. It's not Dougevan, is it? That's what Sam said. How do we actually say Yerne's name? Yerne Dobsvan. Dobsjan? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If anyone wants to tell me, I don't know how you would tell me. But yeah. No one chats in F1, they just must have it on. F4 you got chat, F3 you got loads of people chatting. 25 viewers on F3 on a Monday, it's actually the prime time slot. Too many people are racing on a Wednesday to watch the streams. The second way, what was that? Dobzan. Yeah, no, Dobzan. We'll see. Anyway, Domon's not on a lap. The D is not a D. Yerne Doshan. I'm making it worse. Anyway, Lex is coming into the pits. I think everyone's coming into the pits. It looks like here. Callum Lyons is on an out lap, so we will watch his entire lap. No, we won't, because he's into the pits after an out lap. Interesting. I guess I could Google Translate Yerne's name. Where's he from? Slovenia? Slovenia? Slovenia. Bro, this guy, you actually Google his name, lots of stuff comes up. This is incredible. It's incredible. Who's going to be first to set a lap? I think it's going to be Quill. So we will watch Quill. Yes, we watch Quill. Slovenian to English. Yerne Dobzan. Yeah, that's English, mate. That's not Slovenian. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. Gary the Snail has retired. Mitch has crashed. Oh, he's done a David Hoy. He's done a David Shots Ahoy, everybody. That is a shame for him. And Quill goes past that same corner. Let's see what he can do. Into Mirabeau, he's 700ths up on his previous best. It's very close in this qualify. Actually, no, it's not. I lied. Let's have a look at the gaps. There's another yellow flag, someone getting out of the way. But we're getting to the prime time now here of the session. Williams out of the way on the right-hand side. I believe Quill will be first to cross the line. I'd love to know how much time is left in the session. 54 seconds left to go. So this really is the final runs for everybody. As Quill is just under a 10th up, it's going to be enough to maybe jump him just the one position ahead of Villiers at the moment. Unless he can go again for another run. Let's see, there's a Mercedes out behind him, ready to start a lap, it looks like. Quill fails to improve on his previous best, as we have some other drivers coming to the line. Alex King is invalidated. I think he might be able to go again, though. Yerne is half a 10th up to try and increase the gap out front with a better pole position time. It's an 8.6. It is a faster time from Yerne. Next across the line are people starting laps. Alyosha out the final corner. He's a 10th and a half up. This could put him to make it a McLaren 1-2 on the front row. What's it going to be for Alyosha? A little slide out the last corner, but it is enough to go into the 8s and do an 8.8. Paco has pulled into the pit lane. That is going to be it for his day. He's at best P3, but someone who isn't at best P3 is Arno. He's 3/10 up, and that could put him P3 with a good final sector. Using the battery to the line, is it going to be a 9-0? He actually loses time in that final sector and only stays in P9. Luke Mills crosses the line in third as well. Next up, somebody's in the wall there. That was, I don't know who that was. It was Callum Lyons that we saw, and he's actually crashed out of the session as we were slightly on board with him. But here is Timo Games setting his first time of the session, a 9.4 for him, as Oscar McCracken has also had enough. And I think that is your lot, apart from Domon, who is half a 10th down and invalidated his time. What about Villiers? He's pulling into the pit lane. There is your qualifying. That was a bit chaotic and quite crazy to call. But it is a McLaren 1-2. I expect to see more of this later on in the season. They have a very, very strong driver lineup here. Luke Mills backing up his win last time with a P3 start here. Paco as well, your championship leader, in 4th. Oscar McCracken, what a driver, up in P5. P5? P5. Sam Pritchard 6th, Leon in 7th, Dom and Vress 8th, Timo Games, Timo Van Haften in 9th, Alex King 10th, Arno in 11th, Ian Bilbas in P12, Callum Morris 13th, Callum Lyons P14, so that's an all Callum 7th row for today's Monaco race, and Nathan Powers in 15th, Vilius Vastalkas in 16th, and some other drivers behind them that I have already forgotten who was there. So there you go. We'll have a quick look at the race director in a minute as well once I finish the grid. Quill Pavlakovic in P17, Lex Hod in 18th, Mitch Snape in 19th, and Mitcher didn't get a time on the board after crashing early on in the session on his opening lap. There is your race director. And that is your qualifying. So we do have rain, which is very exciting. I would have loved some rain in yesterday's race. Rumour has it it's about 30 minutes into the race, which could be about halfway, about 20 laps in, to be honest, depending on if we get any safety cars. Safety cars have been very rare in the other tiers at Monaco, and I'm just going to remind everybody of something very important here before we start.
No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
Excellent. Excellent. Very important message, of course, for all the drivers out there. No heroics into Saint-Devote. Or maybe you need a heroics if you're up at the front. There was a great move, I think, at the start of yesterday's race from whoever was in second. I think they got into the lead off the start. That might have been Monday, but one of the races, definitely there was a bit of heroics into Saint-Devote. Yeah, so far in a dry race, the best strategy, I think, has been to pit quite early off the mediums. Get a really good undercut. Lap 6, lap 7, lap 8. And then go hard. Because if you do stay out like I did to lap 11, the people who undercut will come all the way back to you. Anyway, we have 4 red lights and now 5 in Monaco. And we are racing in the Principality. The McLarens seem to get a good start. What is that graphic? That looks very strange. But into the turn 1 we go, and everybody seems to be fairly clean. There's a Red Bull going into the back of an Alpine there. I think that was Callum Morris involved. The graphics are not liking this so far. I don't know why we're getting some weird glitches. Around the outside, Timo is on Alex, making a position up into Casino Square. They're a little bit glued together, but it looks like they've got through cleanly. Arno taking advantage of that as well. Timo going up the inside of Dom and Vress as well, up into P8. The McLarens are 1 and 2, and Domon's coming back at Timo, side by side into the hairpin. There's another side by side battle behind them. The RB losing a position again, I think, to Arno. Out of the corner we go, and my controller is not working, which is very good. So I can't change. I cannot change things. What's going on here? Anyway, I have to use keyboard for a little bit. Through the swimming pool section they all go. And now my controller's back on. Okay. Panic over. Someone's hit the wall. Not sure who that is. So we see them all filter through Rascat all the way down to the back of the grid. Sliding their way through the final corner was Mitch Snape. As Alyosha sets the fastest lap, he has actually taken the lead. I must have missed that. When did that happen? When did that happen? I'm very sorry. Anyway, let's have a look at, first of all, the positions gained. Obviously, a change for the lead between the two McLarens that we completely missed, so sorry about that. Sam has got ahead of Oscar. Timo's up a place on Dom, and Arno's up a place as well. And then Arjan, the big loser, and Callum Morris is into the box along with Vilius at the end of this first lap. Very early pit stops for them, but maybe that's strategic, maybe that's front wing damage based. Lots of drivers on the medium tyres, a few on the hards. So that will be interesting to see which ones people prefer to use later on in the race, especially with this potential rain coming. Don't know what the rules are with that about mandatory pit stops, but the game, maybe it will just disqualify someone at the end of the race if they choose not to do the 2 pit stops despite using a wet tyre. We'll find out. Anyway, let's have a look at the close gaps. Paco is very close behind Luke Mills, who's dropped out of DRS from the front 2 drivers at the moment. So that could be an area of opportunity for Paco. I really don't know why the graphics are doing this, but whatever. Is what it is. Timo down in 8th. Also looks like he has pace, a bit like last week, trying to come through the field. What about Arno as well? In fact, down at the back, Ian has pulled into the pit lane. It looks like the Williams might have wanted to double stack on that first lap, but couldn't do so to change their front wings. Look at the McLarens running away. The gap on the minimap, it looks way bigger than 2 seconds, but it's only been 3 laps. So, who knows? On board with Sam. Through Raskas, sliding about a little bit. Trying to put pressure on Paco, who's putting a lot of pressure on Luke Mills, but using a lot of battery in doing so. On the hard tyres, already liking them a lot so far. Early on in this Monaco race, maybe some tyre management going on from the Ferrari driver. But where are the overtakes going to take place? I do not know. A lot of the overtakes yesterday, a big slide for Paco across the bump after Casino Square. A lot of the overtakes yesterday were to do with tyre deltas, difference in tyre life. So in this early phase of the race, I don't expect many moves, especially from a high quality field like we've got out here today. This is not F4, this is not F3, it's not F2. This is the best of what GRS has to offer, allegedly. Let's go down the grid. Mitcher is on the back of Lex. He didn't get qualifying in, and Lex has actually hit the wall and spun round. That's a very unlucky place to hit the wall. He's lost a bit of his front wing. He's reset to track as well, if anyone wants to report him for that. But yeah, very unfortunate timing. Look at this early pit stop from Arno. It's already lap 5 actually, so it's not that early. Laps are ticking by very quickly here. He's doing the undercut. It's what he did yesterday. And it should work very, very nicely. Where was he when he pitted? Around P10, P9 I think. So we'll see how much he gains. Let's switch to leader actually, because that'll be quite interesting. That'll be quite interesting to see how much he gains on that opening lap, because the undercut, if your tyres are old enough, can be worth 2-3 seconds a lap around here. It's kind of crazy how many corners there are and how much that, you know, slows you down in terms of your tyre life. That sentence doesn't make sense, but I think you know what I meant. Lots of corners mean lots of opportunity to lose performance because of your tyres. There you go. Let's have a look at this little train forming behind Alex King as he tags the wall with his rear right tyre. Just as saying that, Arno's actually got past Lex, who's now locked up into the chicane, having a difficult afternoon so far. So Arno 27.6 behind the leader as Domon's got past Timo. So I'm going to switch back to intervals so I can actually predict these moves happening. His teammates still behind Luke, putting pressure on as Luke is still dropping time to the two McLarens out front of Yone and Alyosha. Some gaps beginning to form at the back of the pack for sure, but at the front there's a few little trains. People are starting to filter out into their respective spaces. Both the Mercedes boys are the ones looking like the most likely to perform an overtake. At least we didn't see any heroics into Sandot, but we might be seeing some heroics from Callum Morris on Lex Hodd, who's really struggling, may still have some damage. He does. The end plate is missing. Up the inside, Lex simply goes straight on and is potentially going to lose 2 positions as we see some pitters trying to respond to what Arno's done. Where is Arno? Let's actually watch him through the final corner. See if he can undercut both Oscar and Leon here. They were a few places ahead of him before the pit stops. This could be a little close, at least with the Sauber. Certainly with the Sauber, it's going to be quite close. There is the Sauber of Leon, but I don't think it is enough for Arno. But certainly gain some time on those guys. Maybe undercut Timo and Domen in doing that. We will see. But now these guys, surely the likes of Luke Mills and Paco, are going to have to respond to Oscar McCracken here. But he's being held up by, as he called himself, the token case, charity case, Mitch Snape. But they're going side by side through Portier, and actually Oscar's nearly into the wall. Mitch is holding up a really good fight here. Around the outside for Oscar on superior tyres, superior grip. Is it enough? It certainly is for now. What about Leon? Can he dispatch of Mitch very quickly? No, he can't. Parks it in the middle of the road. Going to have to go up the inside of the chicane. Brakes fairly late and is through as Mitch takes to the escape road while letting through Arno as well. Didn't want to get involved there. Move for the lead. I've completely missed. Sorry about that. Yerne has got past Alyosha into Sandoval. Nathan Powers is up to 9th with all these pit stops. So, yeah, Callum Lyons next to respond. He was behind these guys, I believe. And comes out, yeah, behind Mitch as well. Does Callum. Looks like the medium tyres are really struggling now on Alyosha. He's dropped a second to his teammate in just a few corners. Down at the back, Arjan has overtaken Lex at the moment. And front wing cam with Timo as he tries to attack Domen. Paco is pushing Luke through the swimming pool chicane, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He needs to wait for Luke to box. And he's actually tagged him a little bit. There's a little bit of ghosting. You shouldn't be able to overtake through that. He's literally pushing him around Anthony Noakes, but I don't think it's going to be enough to overtake up the inside of Sandoval. No, it isn't. Luke just has enough straight line speed to hold on that occasion. What about any other moves into Sandoval? Timo Gaines, perhaps, or Quill and Mitchell on the back of Nathan. None of them are close enough. Unfortunately, someone who is close enough is Callum Lyons through Rascasse, challenging Callum Morris is on 6-lap old hard. The two Callums, will they do battle? Not much battery for Callum Lyons in the Ferrari here, so we'll have to wait, maybe save some battery for another time. Look at that, 2.4 seconds out in front in the lead. Oh, I've missed it. Callum Lyons had a go and they're still side by side, and this is to the hairpin. This is very, very tight. There's a Aston Martin just ahead of them, and Callum Morris holds on to the position. The battle of the Callums currently being won by Callum Morris, but which one of them can get past Mitch, and in what order? The mobile chicane that's been Mitch Snape so far this race. Could still get points with some DNFs later on as Sam Pritchard decides to dive into the pits. A little love tap from Callum on Callum there. And a little love tap with the wall from Callum in the wall, and Luke has been passed by Paco, and I'm missing all the overtakes in this race today because it's hard to know when someone's actually going to go for it. But look at Sam, he's going to be under pressure from Arno out the exit of the pit lane. Somebody's spun in the final corner. It's Callum Lyons. He's also reset to track. You can also report him for that if you want. You don't have to, of course. But yeah, so Paco finally passed Luke up into third. Let's see if he's got any pace up against Alyosha, who's on the old mediums. I'm surprised some of these guys are going so long on the mediums. You know, I did this yesterday and it was a terrible idea. But we'll have to see what happens later on in the race. Of course, there is rain coming, apparently. And there's a 10-second penalty for... oh, there's a Callum Lyons is in a wall. Callum Lyons is in a wall at Mirabeau. Yellow flag. Oh, his entire front wing is off there. That is not going to be helpful for him. He's going to box and probably retire from this race with that sort of damage. I've missed another overtake. This time Callum Morris has had a little spin. And does he have a puncture? No, he's just spinning the tyres everywhere. He's not happy losing his front wing there. There was some movement further ahead. I think Mitch has been passed by Arno and Sam. I'm missing more overtakes. This time Nathan Powers is side by side up Mirabeau. That ended badly for an Aston Martin yesterday. Round the outside for Oscar McCracken. Nathan is doing a me. He's staying out on old mediums and being absolutely mugged off by everybody. Mitcher is next up as Callum has retired in the pit lane. Will that be both Callums out of the race? Is Mitcher going to go for a send up the inside of the hairpin? That's not going to end well, is it? Do they have the steering lock? Do they have the turning circle? No, not quite. And Leon on his fresh hards is putting pressure on all these guys. Yes, both Callums have retired from this session now as Leon is putting his car up the inside of the tunnel section. That's a bit risky and he does bail out of it. Sensibly so. Has to wait for a later opportunity to present itself. Oh, in the wall is a Haas. And that's not an overtaking opportunity. Let's not go up the inside of there, shall we? Leon, look at this train from Nathan Powers, who's been tagged. No, Leon's been tagged by Sam. Is he going to take advantage of that? No, he's not. Good for him. Quill's been passed by Oscar, but let's go back to this other battle. Because there are literally 5 cars in a row, all on different tyres. The action is starting here in Monaco. The Callums are arguing in F1 Discord chat about who took each other out. Look at the superior grip from Leon around the outside of Massenet. Not going to work, unfortunately for him. Can Sam get a run up the inside of Mirabeau? He certainly can. A bit of debris came off one of the cars as well, I think. They're side by side and going to carry this on into the hairpin. Give us a good camera angle game. Oh, nice low camera angle. Lots of barging, lots of bumping. A little slide for the Sauber. And Arno is also putting pressure. There's ghosting going on here as well. I don't know what's going on, but they are all in the same positions they were a little while ago, I think. No, Sam's got past. Sam's got past the Sauber. But still has 2 more slower drivers on the old mediums to deal with, one of which is an Aston Martin. That's not an overtaking opportunity. Maybe it is for Sam Pritchard. He's shoved his way through. Mitcher has to take avoiding action to the chicane. He'll say he was forced off. I think he was forced off. You cannot. I've never seen anyone overtake successfully there, or even try to overtake there. That was outrageously ballsy as Villiers has spun round and is in a wall. Yes, drivers are struggling out here now in these conditions. Makes me think there's rain dropping from the sky, but it's not here yet. As Sam going up the inside of Massenet, this is a dangerous move, as we know, and there's an Aston Martin being a roadblock ahead of him, but Sam has made the place up into P11. Could Nathan be going through this rain period? Trying to hold on to P10 because he's really causing carnage. Sam trying to go around the outside of the chicane. Look, it literally is a Constantina effect. They're pushing each other through the corners, playing bumper cars, and the Sauber's had a wiggle. The Aston Martin's had a wiggle. Everybody's wiggling around, and Sam is through into P11. There's a Sauber making a move on a Haas. I don't know what to say at this point. There's an Alpine up the inside of a Haas. This is ridiculous. Stop it. It's too much. I can't think. I don't know what's going on. Good evening, Finn. I'm not watching the McLarens because they're way too far in front. This is crazy. It's crazy. Look at Leon pushing Nathan through the corner. And Nathan does go a bit deep. Is he going to try and pit like I did yesterday? No, he's not. He loses all 3 places at once. Arno will be happy with that. Gets through one of them. Still got to get through Mitcher, though, on old mediums. I am keeping an eye on the gap at the front because Paco and Alyosha are close together now. The hard tyre's definitely the better tyre now at this stage of the race. Let's see if he can make a move at any point. Oh, I see a drop of rain. I see some rain. There is the rain. The track is slippy. Maybe the track was slippy before. Who knows? Who knows? But the rain is falling here on lap 14. I don't know if it's going to stay for the entirety of the race. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see who pits and when. So the people trying the undercut, your Arnos, your Sams, haven't gained too much, to be honest, because people have been able to stay out and survive these conditions as Timo gets undercut there, switched back by Oscar on superior tyres. And Timo's the first to pull into the pit lane. I know he runs team telemetry. He will know what the weather is doing. Is this the right call? It's got to be Inters. It is Inters. Alex also into the pits for the Racing Bull to put on some intermediate tyres. Anyone else going to follow them in? Nathan Powers is. Oscar is pushing Domen through Massenet and into Casino as these drivers try and stick it out in treacherous conditions now on the dry tyres. As it is almost time for Inters. Domen goes very deep and almost into the wall, just avoids it. Oscar is through. Quill will be next to put pressure on these guys, and Alyosha has been passed by Paco as we're talking about this gaggle of cars here. Coming into the tunnel. Obviously the tunnel will stay dry. Oh, Mitch VR. Whatever, don't care about that. Maybe we should care. Should go back and watch Mitch. Of course we care about Mitch. I think he's going to score a point. 15th at the moment. Only needs to overtake 3 drivers or have 3 DNFs. And that's another point for Mitch in F1. It's possible. It's definitely possible. As into the pits comes Domen Bress. Off the medium tyres, he's had enough. 14 laps is a very impressive distance on those tyres, especially now the conditions are worsening. And he is putting on the intermediate tyres. So is Mitcha, so is Arno, but the front runners are happy in these conditions, which surprises me quite a lot, to be honest with you. Because it looks horrific out there. As Timo has made his way up into 9th. Let's see how quickly he gains on Leon ahead. As Arjan's pulling into the box as well. And here is Sam. Hards v Hards, but a lot younger Hards on the Red Bull compared to the Alpine. As Jörne pulls into the pit lane. Sam thinks about a move, but doesn't really... Well, he doesn't really think about a move, actually. Jörne's on intermediate tyres now, for those who are interested. Ooh, a little tap of the barrier for one of them. We heard in the audio now, everyone's boxing. Alyosha in, Luke in, Paco stays out, Quill in, Sam in, Oscar in, Leon in. Paco staying out. This could cost him maybe a position if it's really treacherous out here. Potential overtakes in the pit lane. Lots of drivers going to be filtering out here at a similar time. Is Mitch going to come into the box maybe? Ooh, somebody's made a mistake, I think, on the exit. As it's really close between a lot of these guys as they filter out. Sam nearly running wide into the path of Domen, who's got a great run on Quill and could potentially get past, but that run has sort of run out for him. So now your order is Timo's undercut his way all the way up to 6th with that 2-lap undercut on the intermediate tyres. Alex King done the same thing. He's in 7th. Quill has come from way down the field to go 8th. This is quite good for him. As Lex and Mitch are the last ones to put on the Inters, apart from Paco, who's now into the pits. Where is he going to come out? Can Luke Mills get back past him? Have to see he's using none ERS through here to get minimal wheel spin. In fact, Villiers still on the medium tyres. I'm not sure what the plan is here. Maybe it's only a very short rain shower. How are you, Finn? Are you much here that your drivers are not anywhere near a driver like myself today? I think they look pretty safe. 11 seconds the gap out in front. Paco is still in 2nd, not under pressure from Alyosha actually. Luke was the one way back. My bad. Ooh, Aston Martins are going side by side into the back. Sam is trying to go on Domen into Casino. We're not even half distance. I feel like I've been talking for ages. So much has happened, and we're on lap 18. Like, we're not even at halfway. It's 7:47. What are we doing here, you know? I've got dinner to eat. What's going on? Monaco is a long... Well, it's a short track, but it's long because there's lots of corners and there's lots of laps. So it takes a little while, and now we've got rain to make it even longer. What a great aerial shot that is of the Red Bull following the Haas there. Sauber creeping up behind as well. So Sam will want to get a move done if he feels he's quicker as soon as possible. This is the main battle on the track at the moment. Up the hill, he's going to have a go into Massenet. He absolutely is. He's well alongside. A little bit of wheel bang, but they're side by side. This is very good racing between them. Still leaving good space into Casino. Is the Haas going to send a move into Mirabeau? He is going to send a move into Mirabeau. It's a late lunge. It's a great lunge. He's got it stopped very nicely, and he's potentially made the move around the outside of the hairpin. He's going to have to go. Is he going to try a switchback? No, that's not possible because there's a Sauber up his arse as well. Oh, I shouldn't say that. There's a Sauber at the back of him. Really pushing him along too. Sacking. Etu's a fantastic driver, mate. It's just Yerne is what's the word? Godly, maybe. That's a good word. He is the GOAT. The current reigning champion is leading this race by 10 whole seconds. I think the only thing that can stop him is an Aston Martin on old medium tyres. You know? Anyway. Looks like some gaps are starting to form between the drivers, so I can settle down a little bit. And we can see what this rain is going to do. Is it going to get worse? Or are we just going to have a consistent amount of light rain? Are these inters going to make it to the end? Is a good question. I have no idea because I didn't do any practice on inters. So if I'd had rain, we would have been in a bit of trouble, probably. Let's have a look at the front runners. Here is Yerne cruising around down into Saint-Devote. So I hear some wall banging, which is a nice bit of fun. Look at the umbrellas, the green umbrellas in the grandstand. There's Sauber fans in the grandstand. What's happening to Kick Sauber? 11th and 18th, looking for their first points in the tier so far. Leon currently giving them that. With P11, that's 2 points. I'm concerned this race might become a bit... You know, we've had all the action, and now everyone's on the same age of tyre. It could become a bit of a procession. With large gaps in between the procession, you know. So we're going to have to rely on Sam Pritchard here to make a move as Paco gets a 3-second time penalty. That's a good point to make, actually. Not many penalties for the drivers so far today. Obviously, it is Monaco. It's quite difficult to get a penalty. But it is possible. Cutting the Nouvelle chicane, cutting the swimming pool chicane, cutting Saint-Devote. Those are really the three places you can get warnings. As Villiers has finally decided to ditch the medium tyres. I wonder what made him decide now. Has it just started raining on his screen? Not sure what this strategy is from the man who is currently P4 in the championship, having a good season on the new game. Let's go on board with Leon. See if he can maybe make a move on the Hatter. He's got no battery. Neither has Domin. He's got a decent exit compared to him up the hill here. Is he going to go for a move? Well, outside, inside. He's going to go to the inside. He's going to have a little bit of wheel contact. And they're almost gluing each other into the wall. They're still side by side up Casino Square. There's more sliding and wheel banging between them. Is Domin going to send a move? Absolutely. He did this on Sam a few laps ago. And he's going to try and hold it out this time. They're literally tagging themselves through the corner. And late braking from Leon into the hairpin has got the move done there in the end. There's always going to be wheel banging around Monaco whenever you make a move. You just got to hope it doesn't wheel bang you into a wall. And I think that was clean enough for a Monaco overtake, to be honest with you. So after all, it is Monaco. Anyone want to tell me what's going on in F4? Anything exciting happening in F4? Are we having more DNFs than 2 Callums in F4? Otherwise, I will check myself in a little bit, because I do think the action is limited at the moment. The rain is getting worse, though. Look at the spray starting to come up. The track's getting wetter. I don't know if the rain's getting worse. That's a bit deep from Quill, and he's going to have being put under pressure here from Sam up the hill. There's no room there, though, and I think Quill's going to get away with that mistake. Sam thinks about a move up the inside. If there's space, he's still going for it. It's going to turn to the outside for Casino Square. Look at this car control from Sam. This is brilliant stuff. Getting better traction despite going over the bump. Quill up the inside, though. Going to stick at it through Mirabeau. Sam's still there. They're going to be side by side into the hairpin, and surely now the guy on the inside will win this battle, as we've seen on previous occasions. They're almost locking each other into the wall, but just about Quill backs out of it before they're losing their front wings. He's now going to be under pressure from Leon here, who's got 43% battery compared to Quill's 70. And that was all caused by a small mistake running a bit deep into Sandoval turn 1 for Quill Pavlakovic there. Crithium, as I heard a crunch behind, as Mitchell gets a time penalty. Lex has decided to pit and potentially retire from this race. Yes, he has retired in the pit lane. That is your 3rd retirement from the race. He's had a few hits with the wall himself this race, so we saw early on. I think a spin as well. P18 for one of the Saubers, but the other Sauber is up into P10 and looking racy, looking like Quill is the one under pressure, falling back through the pack. He's already lost 1.4 seconds to Sam. Is there going to be space for Leon to sneak past in a similar way that Sam did on the previous lap? Looks like he's having his own issues with wheel spin, sliding through every corner as he puts the power down. Little lock up on the right front as well into Mirabeau. Look how slow it is through the chicane. Look how wet the track is getting. Lines are starting to form. This is where the graphics should look great. I've got weather on ultra high, I think. I have weather on ultra high. Sorry, can I even check that? I can. Ultra high weather effects, everybody, for your viewing pleasure. Look at it, it's getting heavy. This is heavy rain now. This is heavy rain now. Lap 25, this is definitely heavy rain. Look how wet the track is getting. Is anyone going to go for the wet tyres? I don't think so, because they are horrific on this game. Especially if it is going to get better in a few laps' time. But Quill is really struggling. Leon all over the back of him. It looks like Domin and Arno and Mitch are all catching this little train as well, as Domin pulls into the pit lane. Is this going to be for wet tyres? I think it is, you know. It's gone for the alternate strategy, putting on the wets for that extra grip. How much pace is it going to give him? I did not expect to see wet tyres here at Monaco today. Anyway, Leon's found that gap up the inside, and it's not worked for him. He's actually tagged Quill and put him into a wall a little bit. It's a very unfortunate mistake. He's going to let him by. He's going to let him by. And normal service, or yeah, is resumed between the two. I respect the overtake attempt, and I respect letting him by as well. Good etiquette from him there. Might avoid a penalty in the post-race stewarding for that. I don't think Quill got damaged by doing that either. I think he just avoided the wall. Other drivers putting on wet tyres down at the back. Aryan, Nathan as well, I think. Maybe, oh no, new set of inters for Nathan. That's a strategy I prefer, to be honest. Get some more grip just by having fresh tyres, not necessarily the wetter tyres. Look how wet it is now, the rain really coming down. It looks like Leon might have front wing damage actually. He's really struggling for downforce. No, it's just the conditions at the moment. That is all it is. As Nathan comes out of the pits. On a fresh set of inters. Arno now pulls into the pits for wet tyres. Villiers has got a 10-second time penalty for crossing the pit exit white line. 10 seconds is extremely harsh. He must have done it before on his previous laps. It's not going to help his race at all. Out to the pit lane come Arno and Mitcha as well though. And they've been undercut by Domen. So if anyone else wants to go for wets, they will be undercut by the Haas here. Not a bad strategy from Haas. Mitcha though going on to fresh inters, also I think not a bad call. As Paco now pulls into the pit lane, he's going to go onto a new set of inters. Alyosha follows him in. What will Luke Mills do? Does he fancy sticking it out? Thing is, I don't know if the weather's going to get better, if you can go to the end. I don't know if you're legally allowed to go to the end. Do you have to still make a second stop? If you only have to make one more stop, you might as well put wets on if it's going to stay this wet. Who knows? Anyway, Oscar McCracken is going to get past Alyosha as he pits. And he's coming out of the pit lane. Let's go back to the tyre screen. Alex as well coming into the pits. Quill as well. Will these guys be undercut by Domen? I think Domen's way too far back for that, as Villiers has decided his day is done. I think Quill should be okay, but we'll watch for Domen on the left-hand side of the screen, flying past. There he is in the picture. I think he's going to be okay. Here we go. Actually, maybe not. Domen around the outside. Is he going to have the better traction out of Sandoval to get past? It doesn't look like it. So just behind Quill at the moment. And you can hear the rain in the weather effects. In fact, let's turn up these sound effects. Where's effects? Effects is on maximum. That's why you can hear the rain. There you go. Anyway, Yerne pulls into the pits for a fresh set of inters, following what Paco did. He had a free pit stop anyway, so no reason not to do that. See Williams going slowly. I don't know if that's the retiring Williams of Villiers. I think it is. I think it is. Is he going to find a place to park? Alyosha's into the pits again for wet tyres. That's his third stop of the race. Timo's now in for wets as well. Sam's coming in for wets. I don't really know what's going on, to be honest. Some people are staying out, some people are pitting for fresh inters, some people are pitting for wets. Leon up to 6th now for Sauber on old inters. Can he take them to the end? He has done 2 stops. I think Luke's the only one who hasn't. Yeah, Luke Mills is the only driver who's not completed 2 stops. Whether he has to because it's wet, I do not know. So if he tries to stick it out, maybe he knows the rules better than everybody else. He might be able to hold on to a P3. We'll see. I don't know if I've ever seen wet tyres usefully used in an online race before. This is quite something. And Yerne's in the pits again. Going to give Paco the lead. Finn, what are your drivers doing? They're going on to wets. And they already boxed. Luke's now into the pits for wets. Paco on the fresh inters is going to try and stay out and win this, I think. What about Leon? I heard another clonk into the wall. Look at this train, by the way. As Nathan is out in the pit lane, he's had enough. This is the train I wanted to have a look at. We got Quill, Dom and Arno all pretty close together, at least at the chicane. There's another train from, well, not really a train, it's like 2 cars. Timo and Alex King. They're on different compounds as well. But here's the battle. Yerne's decided to pit. He's 12 seconds behind Paco. He's on wets, and Paco is on intermediates. Surely the wets are better, yes. Are they going to be better for the whole time? And are they going to be 2 seconds a lap or 1.5 seconds a lap better? I'm not sure, to be honest. Probably. But we will see. Anyway, look at the spray coming off the cars now. In this very heavy rain conditions. I think Mitch struggled to get past the AI there of Nathan, who's retiring. The AI retire really late when you retire in the pit lane. They actually they're still driving at Mirabeau. I don't know what they're doing. Just find a service road. There we go. He finds the road at the end of Sector 1. Makes you wonder, should you just retire at Mirabeau on track? It'd be safer. But whatever. Sam gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cuts. Timo gets another 3-second time penalty. Arno gets a 3-second time penalty. They're all coming up now, late in the race for their first penalty. Sam is all over the back of Alex King here. Wets versus Inters. This is the first sort of Wets versus Inters battle we've seen, with a wet driver behind an Inter driver. Is he going to have enough straight line speed to make a move? Not quite. Got into turn 1. Big slide. The back end stepping out. But he's got good traction. He's got great traction. There's no room there. Oh, and he backs out just in time. He backs out just in time. There's Sam. Smart driving. Going through Casino. Look at the traction difference. Is there going to be a room up the inside of Mirabeau? No, he decides against it. I would have gone for a move there, I think. He's being patient. Maybe into the Nouvelle chicane. Or maybe now. Oh, front wing damage there for Alex King on that left end plate. That is part of the reason for his lack of pace. Along with the tyres as well. Apparently the yachts are already honking their horns 7 laps too early. Which is really helpful. Look at the rain. It's like some of the rain we've seen in the UK recently. Incredible. I do love rain. Love a thunderstorm. Timo, another one to showcase new wets versus this time old Inters, actually. So this should be an even easier opportunity for Timo than it will be for Sam to get past his rival. Here he goes. First attempt at Saint-Devant. Not going to be close enough. Meanwhile, the gap out in front is under 10 seconds. Well, just over 10 seconds now, I say that. And Timo's thinking of a move into Massenet. Very popular overtaking place this is, and he goes for it. And he's had a little bit of contact whilst doing so, but a fairly clean move from Timo to get himself up into P6. 11 seconds up to the next car. Oh, as we switch to Sam, he's going up the inside of Mirabeau. A nice overtaking move there. Can he get a full car length ahead before the hairpin? No, not quite. A big late braking move from Alex to hold on to the position, and he has no turning circle on the outside of the hairpin there. There's no room there as Sam tries to send it up the inside of Portier 1. Gets good traction on the exit as well, overtaking engaged. Will he send a dive bomb? Don't think so, as Alex has got good traction as well. And also the rain, I was going to say it's getting lighter, but I'm not sure. Might be just stabilising. No, it's definitely not getting lighter. Definitely not. Oh. Rear tyres into the wall for Sam. Pushing to try and get past the driver on fresh intermediates. Which aren't really a bad tyre here. I mean, look. Yerne's only gained 3 seconds in the last 2 laps. If he carries on doing that, he will just about catch Paco, but will he have enough pace to pass him? I'm not sure. This could be a strategy blunder from the McLaren boys. They were comfortably 1 and 2 earlier on in the race. And they're now 2 and 5. Oscar McCracken is up to P3 out of nowhere, and comfortably P3 as well. I know he has a time penalty. Oh, Paco has a time penalty. That's a good point. That means Yerne will probably win. We'll have to wait and find out. 7 laps to go. But yeah, Oscar doing well in P3. Up 2 places, but for me a contender for driver of the day, to be honest. Gone under the radar. 15 lap old Inters. If he can hold on to them in 3rd with a penalty, that would be quite something. I think Luke Mills will have something to say about that. Let's go to a little train that's forming down in P10, 11 and 12. 2 Alpines and 2 Haas cars in close proximity. And we're on board with Arno. Just watching Quill thread his way through the barriers around Monaco. There's a yellow flag. I think that's someone letting someone pass. It's Mitch letting pass the race leaders. Down in 15th, but you never know. 3 drivers could retire at the end and he gets a point. Will we see a move from either Sam here in the Red Bull? I think he's tagged the back of Alex. We've seen these two fight on track before earlier in the race. Going side by side through the hairpin. Will they do it again? Actually, Alex has run wide here and there could be a chance into the Nouvelle chicane if Sam has good traction. He's fairly close, but actually losing time on the straight, losing a bit of straight line speed. Not going to have enough to slide it up the inside of the Nouvelle chicane into that heavy braking zone downhill. Fighting at the wheel as he gets a 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial for him. Leon as well getting a 3-second time penalty, which means Alex is up to 7th provisionally at the moment. And the gap in front, 7.4. It's coming down, but the laps are running out a bit. I have to see what it is next lap. Let's actually take note when he crosses the line what it is. In fact, okay, 48.2, 7.3. 48.2, 7.3, remember that. We will see how much he is gaining per lap at the moment, roughly. Big slide for Arno through Sandoval. The rain still falling here. Looks like it will be falling for the rest of the race. Is it down to light rain now, though? Looks like it might be, which means the Inters might become the better tyre soon, although that angle looks like heavy rain. It's hard to tell. I wish we could have some sort of graphic that told me what the weather is doing. Add a weather radar to your game, EA, please. That's customizable. That would be genuinely my dream feature of this game. It's probably a very niche feature, but I think it would be so cool to make storylines and online races, scripting essentially, a custom weather radar where you can draw a splodge of rain and move it across the track, like before the race even starts, telling you what the rain's going to do in that race, so you can have rain on half the track if you want and dry on another half. Wouldn't that just be amazing? Create some sensational races. Anyway, back to the action. Domen is behind Quill. Arno and Mitch is now catching up. The Inters are better, I think. Where is Alyosha? Yerne, he's already passed 48.2 and it's still 7.4. It looks like Paco might have done the dream strategy by pitting onto fresh Inters. So now for these final few laps, they're going to be better. Well, actually saying that, no, Yerne pitted an extra time for these wets. It's definitely not the right call. Unless he thought he was going to put it in a barrier. What's going on in F4? Let's have a look. Oh, wait, there isn't any F4 stream today, is there? Don't know. Is there a stream? Oh, there's no F4 stream. No. Nobody knows what's going on in F4. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Oh, look at a couple of trains forming now. Leon ahead of Alex King, ahead of Sam. And of course Quill ahead of Dom, ahead of Arno, ahead of Mitcher, who's now the man on a charge. Same with Alex King, he's the man on a charge. Look at these guys all so close together, and he's thinking about a move. Look at the overspeed on Arno there up towards Massenet. We'll switch to the Leon view in a minute, because there's another battle going on there. Don't want to miss anything, and we have missed something. Alyosha's crashed! Alyosha has crashed! Mitch, show us what's happened. There he is, the tyre is off. A McLaren has crashed out. Look at that, the wet tyre's gone. No safety car, not even a virtual. It's a bit late for a full safety, but no virtual safety car. A big contender has crashed out of this race with 3 laps to go at the Nouvelle Chicane, the exit of it. His front left is gone. That's a big moment for, well, I was going to say for the championship, but I'm not too sure, to be honest. As Mitchell gets a 3-second time penalty, that's not going to help his race at all. On board with Alex, putting pressure on Leon on 19 lap old intermediate tyres. Look at how old those tyres are, and he's still keeping him behind. It's impressive stuff. Just shows any time Monaco can bite you. A small mistake, a small misjudgment, and you're into the wall, and your tyre can be gone, particularly at that Nouvelle Chicane. There's sort of 2 walls that are very, very dangerous there. Oh, he thinks about a move. Leon brakes late to avoid any contact and leave some space. Now Alex thinking of setting him up. Maybe later on a little slide on the exit of the hairpin, though. That's not going to help him. What about Sam? I know he's on the wet tyres, but he's got a full front wing compared to Alex. Let's see, and actually look, Paco's gapped by 3 seconds again. So the gap when Yerne pitted was about 12 seconds. So it looks like Paco's made the right call by pitting fresh inters and staying on them, not going for the wets. And actually it also means everyone else has probably made the wrong call if you want pure race time. But obviously the wets will have given you more grip for the last few laps that we've just had, although now they might be starting to overheat a little bit, which means everybody could be struggling. And anybody could put it into a wall, as we've already seen. Mercedes is lapping someone down there. Let's go back to the Haas v Alpine battles, because Domen is all over the back. It's a 10th, the gap. Surely there's no room. There's no room there. There's no room there. Can he set him up into Massenet? And what about the battle behind between Arno and Mitcher? They all file through up towards Massenet and Casino, but none of them are close enough to make an overtake, or maybe a late dive point to Mirabeau. We've headed on to the final lap. Where is Paco? Paco has started his final lap. The race leader, the championship leader. All the talk last week was when Yerne comes back. Actually, no, that wasn't the truth. But still, when Yerne comes back, he was going to dominate. He's not been able to do that today. He has dominated in some aspects, but a strategy decision may have let him down and cost him the race win here in Monaco. Paco is at the hairpin. Where did he start? Everybody on this grid has driven amazingly, because these conditions have not been easy for any driver at all, regardless of ability. Heavy rain at Monaco, light rain at Monaco, inters or wets. And don't forget the dry conditions are hard enough, you know, to be this fast. Keep it out of the barriers is very, very impressive. But here he is then, coming round Raskas and heading towards Antino's, the final corner. Started third on the grids. That was a disappointing qualifying for him. Beat 2 McLarens to the finish line, and he comes across the line. Paco wins in Monaco. Round number 4. Your championship leader extends his lead at the top of the standings. Next across the line in second place will be Yerne Dovzan. I don't know how you say his name. Sliding through to take a well-earned P2, but it could have been the win for him, you'll have to think. Oscar McCracken, my personal driver of the day, 22 laps on those intermediate tyres, comes home in third with a podium finish. Luke Mills will have to settle for fourth, but pretty decent race for him. Plenty of gap to the car ahead and behind him. Let's have a look if it's going to be a late move further back. You can hear the yachts in the harbour making noise as the race is finished. Luke crosses the line in fourth. Timo will cross the line in fifth, it looks like. And yeah, I don't think there's going to be any more overtakes on this final lap. Maybe Mitcher as he heads into Tabac. No, not quite. Timo comes across in line in fifth. Leon and Alex, 6th and 7th, of course. Leon with that penalty gets demoted that place. Sam crosses the line in 8th. Quill will be next to cross the line. The Haas v Alpine battle is going to end as it has for the last few laps. Quill 9th, Dom in 10th, Arno 11th, Mitcher in 12th, taking that final points position. Everybody else was a lap down, and to be fair, that was a pretty good race. Changeable conditions, strategy, some worldy overtakes, some side-by-side battling through many corners. Casino, Mirabeau, the hairpin. We didn't see many moves at the chicane. We saw some spins early on, mid-race, and then at the end we saw Alyosha hitting the wall as well. Very unfortunate for them. But yeah, what a great race. Oscar as well up to P3, definitely my driver of the day. But you will get to vote. Everybody will get to vote for driver of the day in a little bit. Before that, we will have the interviews with the top 3. And before that, we will check on the race director to see who's been a naughty boy. Alyosha does get the fastest lap, so we'll actually get a point. Look at the various tyre strategies here. Villiers did a 5-stop, which is quite interesting. Anyway, here is your race director. Probably not very long. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Doman getting a late penalty. I don't know if that cost him a position. Maybe finished behind Quill anyway. So no, it didn't cost him at all. So yeah, there you go. Let's get some drivers in the interview room. Give me 2 minutes and we'll be back with some drivers. I've just knocked my microphone on the floor. Alright, we are here with the top 2 at the moment. Yeah, no, not the top 2. first and third. Yone may join us later. We will start with the man who finished in P3, my personal driver of the day, staying out 22 laps on the intermediates at the end. Oscar McCracken P3, how do you feel? It must have been a very difficult race for everybody, keeping it out the barriers. How did you survive?
Yeah, I don't know. I had a really annoying qualifying because I think in the session before I did an 8.5 banker, and then I just got scared of DNFing in qualifying, so I just wasn't quite able to do such a good lap in quali. But then off the start, I lost a position because my starts have not been very good, and so I thought the rain wasn't coming for a while, so I just pit on lap 6 from the mediums onto the hards. Somehow got back to where I was before, with the free stop and pit for inters, and then at the start of the inter stint I think I was gonna get a puncture at the end, but then when the heavy rain came it kind of saved me a little bit, so I was able to just stay out the rest of the race. And then don't know what happened with Alyosha and Luke with them messing up their strategies.
Yeah, did you ever consider like pitting for fresh inters? Because that's what Paco did and a couple others. It worked quite well for them.
I thought I'd done my 2 stops already, so I just thought I may as well stay out and see what happens.
Yeah, fair enough. And how was the dry period? I feel like you made some overtakes, but I can't really remember.
I made a lot. I'll send some of them because I made a double overtake, which was quite nice.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you. Moving on to our race winner, who, to be honest, I'm quite surprised you won the race because it looked like the McLarens were running away with it, and then you decided to pit for fresh inters. They pitted twice, went on to wets, and you managed to keep it out the wall and take the win. So how do you feel about that, extending your championship lead?
Yeah, I feel very good about that, to be honest. I wasn't expecting much because I suck at Monaco normally, and in quali it showed because the lap times were horrible. Alyosha was really fast in practice, by the way, so I don't know what happened to them.
He crashed by himself.
Yeah, but also just the race pace wasn't there, I think. He might have had damage or something, but I don't know what is going on. When we went to the inters, I just was clearly the fastest on track, but I don't know what happened to Alyosha. He was going very slowly.
Yeah, true, I'm not sure. He started on mediums and then pitted with everyone else, came down in like 5th.
No, it was fine in the dry stint, but then in the wet everyone slowed down big time. So that was pretty nice to me.
So was it a comfortable victory then in the end?
Well, in the end, yes, but I was not gonna win if Yone didn't fuck up. So
yeah, fair enough.
I saw him boxing for wets, and I was just.
I don't get why they pitted there, because they all pitted on the same lap. But I feel like the wets were faster 5 laps before that.
Yeah, I
don't know what they were doing.
It was slower after 10 laps again.
Yeah, I didn't get it because the first people to pit for wets were like Arno down in like 10th, and they pitted way earlier. Then the McLarens pitted for inters, and then a couple laps later changed their minds and pitted for wets again, which didn't really make
Alyosha
sense.
boxed for wets the lap after he pitted for new inters.
Yeah.
Because he came out right behind me and then pitted again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I think happened? They followed me into the pit for new inters, because I thought you had to do a 2-stop, so that's why I pitted.
I think you do.
I'm not sure with the rain, but we also. I don't know if anyone did it or not.
No one did. Everyone did at least 2 stops. Luke was on a 1 stop for a while, and then I think he pitted because he was scared he might get disqualified.
No, but yeah, we went to new inters, and the grip didn't really get much better, and the force feedback changed really badly, probably for everyone. So I feel like that might be the reason why they went to wets, because you didn't get more grip from the new inters compared to the old ones. But yeah, it got way better after like 10 laps, so that was nice.
Final question. You are in the lead of the championship. Obviously, Yone is back, and he's a very quick driver. Are you expecting to be challenged by him, and how quickly?
No comment. No, I think I'm gonna be turning off the line for the next of the season, so I will not be as fast anymore. So I'll probably get beaten by Luke and Alyosha and Yone and maybe some more people.
Still, you can have a good fight anyway.
We will see.
Let's see. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us, and thanks everyone for watching. That was actually quite good at Monaco Grand Prix. Wet weather, crashes, spins, side by side through many corners, and no Aston Martin controversy, so that's always good. But yeah, see you guys next week for Austria, I think, which will be a hopefully very good race. Until then, goodbye.
Bye. You.
No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.